Alright, what's good everyone? It's Banjo here. I promise I'll bring back the talk show and it's gonna come back. It's gonna be the first episode, or I'm gonna make this the intro episode. Now, I have an old form here from 2020 with about 20 questions on it, and I'm gonna go through some of them as I just casually go through this hobby because I need some background entertainment or else I'm gonna lose my mind here. I'm turning off the sound. I'll add in some music so this doesn't sound awful. So let's start with the very first question here. And this one is something that, since it's from 2020, it's kind of funny to think about, but I was asked, how will COVID-19 affect the community? And I think this will be questions to kind of like reflect on, in a way. For me personally, I think COVID-19 kind of gave us all more of an excuse to like play these game shows because everyone was like shut in and everything. Yeah, everyone was obviously more shut in, so it was kind of like an easier decision to play game shows because like, what else are you gonna do? School's not really happening. Most people were out of jobs trying to make money, so I think it was a rough time for a lot of people. But I think in terms of just casually thinking about it, I think it kind of helped it thrive, at least for like the next year or so. I don't know, I'd say personally it's kind of going down a certain path that I'm not too comfortable with right now, but I think either way, 2020 was a decent year for it. Aside from obviously personal issues in terms of the community itself, obviously, I feel like game shows were a bit more frequent. You were seeing people who may not really ever host again host. Like, I know I was kind of hosting a lot during that year, just because everything on school was online, and it was like, I get it done in 2 seconds, and I'm bored now. Like, I think that's how some other people were as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much answers that. Next question here, which is, when is the talk show? It's right now. It's doing it right now, 2 years after the original one. I don't actually remember what day the original one was uploaded on. I'll have to put a photo of that up on the screen here, just to remind you all and remind myself. But yeah, it's been a while. I've been meaning to pick up the series. I just haven't really had time due to schools and whatnot. I don't think this will be daily. However, I'd love to make this a more recurring thing on the channel and at least start doing it a lot more, because I feel like I do this type of content well. That could just be the ego talking, but I don't know. I feel like I like doing this a lot. Let's see, next question here. The next question is, how hard is school these days? Now, obviously when this was asked, I was in high school. However, I'll be talking to this from the perspective of college, which I'm now in. I don't know, it's been a weird experience for me so far. I feel like the classes, they don't exactly care as much about what you do, but the material itself is kind of, important is the right word. It's definitely a lot more important for you to remember these things because they don't really help you as much. Like, they don't hold your hand like they would in high school or any other type of school. I think the professors, sometimes you can talk to them a bit more on a personal level compared to high school teachers, because there were just more people trying to make money rather than helping kids. Because obviously, in college and university, you'll get like the occasional 50-year-old who's somehow come here from another country and is like getting his first schooling ever, and you're just kind of taken aback as you're like an 18-year-old staring at people who are in the exact same class, like same first year class as you. It's kind of funny to think about, but yeah, so all in all, I think compared to high school, it's a lot more work, but if you get the work, then you will be like 10 times smoother. Oh, what the? Oh, okay, but... Oh, that was the right thing, okay. Next question is, how much cornbread do you eat? Personally, I'm not a huge cornbread eater. I know people who do like cornbread, and I'm not going to shit talk them whatsoever. I can understand the appeal of cornbread, but You know, me personally, I'm not a huge cornbread guy, so I'll have to shout out all the cornbread eaters out there. But unfortunately, no, I don't eat much cornbread. You can tell a lot of these questions were silly made, I would call them. So I'm just kind of doing my best to answer, you know, as much as possible. Let's see. Next question is asking me how I want to die. You know, as an 18-year-old, I'd hope at like an old age. Like natural causes. Why did I just died from a parkour jump, I guess. No, see, personally, yeah, like old age type of shit. I wouldn't want to wish that type of death upon like anyone else, because that shit's rough, regardless of how you cut it. Nobody wants to watch someone get hit by a car or shot or whatever. No matter how cool it looks in the movies when, you know, some guy rips another guy's head off. I don't think you want that happening to you. I'll be 100% real with y'all. Yeah, you know, I think going out in a nice, sweet way. Either that, or if I had to choose a non-boring option to die, it would probably be something that would be kind of quick. I would say, like, oh, you get shot, but getting shot would mean, like, getting shot directly in the head. But then again, you'd still kind of feel things, so... maybe be just, like, exploding somehow. Not, like, in a vehicle exploding, but just, like, have a... I don't know. Just somehow blowing up. just that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, that about answers that question for me. Next question here is, can I do a backflip? I know people who can do a backflip, but no, I cannot. I think that people who can, you know, I feel like you can't just do a backflip, like, immediately. Obviously, you have to put in a little bit of practice with it. I just walked off. That's peachy. Okay. Okay. Oh, I can touch them. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I can't do a backflip. Just moral of the story. So, next question is, how do I get out of science? Now, I think you've gotten out of science. It's been about 2 years since you sent that message. However, good way to get out of class. Let's see, how did I get out of class some days? I think, honestly, just, you can fake a lot of things unless you have a really nosy teacher, from what I've noticed. I've seen other people do the thing of just saying that they're getting picked up for literally anything, and the teacher just kind of has to believe you. So as long as you haven't, like, gone to a verbal argument with the teacher, I think you're kind of in the clear, and they'll just kind of believe whatever you do. Yeah, so kind of like doing the boring way, or, you know, you just don't go to science and you fail. Which, I mean, completely optional. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's optional. What the f... You good, pimp? Yeah, he good. Okay, my next question I have on here is, how easy do you think it is to drive? Now, obviously, it's been 2 years. If I was asked this question before I had my license, I would have probably answered, oh, I think it's pretty easy. And I have it now, and my verdict is, I wouldn't say it's easy. I think it's obviously kind of an acquired skill, but once you're good at it, like, you're good at it, you know? I play a lot of, like, racing games. I don't have a full simulator. I've always used the controller, but I always like to relate certain things to, like, real life. So I'll take the video game, and then I'll be like, oh, I can do this in real life. And I think with driving, it was just kind of one of those things where once I got past, like, the jitters of being like, oh god, I'm going to kill someone if I mess up, then it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we're cool, we're vibing, we're chilling. I'm not sure if any other people have had those types of experiences with driving, but I think things like that really kind of help. I think there's a lot of other things that you can actually use that kind of logic on. The logic of, like, once you get over the pre-jitters, then you're kind of good to go. I think, like, dating is kind of the same thing. I don't think people are going to be 100% confident when they first start, but once you kind of get the first one, as long as it doesn't end terribly, I think you're pretty much set for, like, the rest of it, and you should in reality have no trouble doing it in the future. Let's see, next question here is, am I addicted to my phone? Would I say I'm addicted to my phone? Not addicted as most people. I mainly use my phone, if anything, for family and music. There's not a lot of other things I will use it for. Obviously, I'll message my friends, but I don't have that as like a constant use like some other people would. I think either way, phones are gonna be like the main part of society now. Most people, if not everyone, are gonna have them. So I think at some point people are gonna be addicted to their phone. I don't think I am personally. My average is only like 4.5 hours per week, day, something. I don't know. So I don't think that's that bad compared to some other people. I've seen some people with some really horrendous numbers on that front, where it's been like an upwards of like 9 to 10 hours, and the fact that I'm half of the addict is like, I think it makes sense. I think it's fair. Alright, so next question here. What type of music do you listen to? I am mainly a rap listener. I'll find out in a minute if my Spotify has gone through at all, but I'm listening to music right now. I just have the audio cut out. But if it's gone through, I guess I'll kind of have to include it and get DMCA'd. 50 subscriber channel, we love to see it. Personally, I always used to be kind of a radio guy. I'd just kind of be a bandwagon and just be like, oh, yeah, this is cool because I heard it on the radio. Then I got introduced to rap. I've always listened to Eminem, but then I got listened to like more modern rap, and I got like heavily involved with it, and now I'm just kind of, stuck with it, I think. It's definitely influenced the way I act, I've noticed, because I like to think I'm a bit more confident in some situations because of it. Other situations, I think, like, it influences me in the wrong way. I feel like it makes me more violent sometimes. Just depending on, like, the situation, I feel like, and if I'm actually listening to it in the time of. I think the main thing I like about rap is, like, the flows, mainly, and, like, how smooth everything is if it's the right song. Because I get that, like, yeah, voices sound nice, and I can appreciate a good, like, pop song or a good, like, real, like, belter. But personally, for me, I just like a song that sounds good, and to me, the voice isn't everything. I need, like, a proper beat behind it. I need a good instrumental. I need good ad-libs. I need good everything, And I think most rap songs are able to provide that type of stuff for me, I think that's just the way I like my music, and it's just giving it to me here. Alright, next question here. Do I sing in the car? Well, if I'm by myself, yeah, I'm gonna, like, belt my rap music. Obviously, belting rap music is kind of different because, like, obviously, as I mentioned before, there's not enough singing. It's just kind of you talking. If you're just doing it in the car because you're not really trying to, like, stay on tune, you're just kind of rapping it. I think the main issue with rapping in the car is kind of the obvious one, where it's like, obviously a lot of the music I listen to involves the N-word. So do I want to be, like, the guy who's belting the N-word in his car? No, sir. So I always have to be very, very super duper careful about kind of what I'm listening to, where I'm listening to it, like what I'm saying. I always kind of have to be aware of everything, because I don't want to be that type of person where I just have, like, that mental slip. I think that with me, I'm very good with getting it. So, moral of the story, I like to rap in the car because rapping is fun for me. Okay, so next question here is, when I have a child, what will I name him or her? Obviously, I'm still 18. I haven't really, thought about this too much. If I had to pick a name off the top of my head right now, okay, I think I've got a boy's name. I think for the boy's name, I'd do something like, maybe Thomas. Low-key, I think Thomas would be the boy's name. I think I'd low-key just name it after Thomas and Friends. Like, y'all remember the old kids show with the trains? Yeah, I think that's what I would base it off of. And then if it was a girl, I would probably do something like, maybe like a Maria? Skylar? I don't know. I'd probably have to talk with my other at that point, and just kind of go from there, because I'm not very good at decision making, it turns out. I've literally just spent the last like 10 minutes rambling to myself about what a good girl's name would be if I had a daughter. But next question is, am I a lesbian? Clearly. Oh wow, there's only like 2 questions left. This is gonna be pretty short. And one of them is a troll question. That's great. So the final question for today's episode, how long have I been recording for? I've been recording for 22 minutes, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have like a little bit of trimming, and I could probably get this out like later tomorrow. Something like that. Anyways, the final question, after I reset here, is what do I want to do when I grow up? And that also correlates to why I'm doing this. I want to be a sports commentator. That is personally what I like to do, because I am a huge sports person. However, I've never been good, really, at the sports. It's kind of like some people playing Survivor. They love Survivor, but they're not good when they play it. I kind of have that issue with sports. So, I think, and I have this certain tendency to not shut up, I've noticed. I'm sure many of you have noticed it if you've played in game shows with me, or if you've just met me in real life. But yeah, personally with me, I feel like mixing kind of the two passions of talking... Oh, that's one of those. Okay, talking and sporting would, help my case out a lot, because I'd be always passionate about what I'm talking about, which some people on this platform aren't. And I think that kind of bringing a voice, or being able to use my voice to kind of reach, like, a certain amount of people, I think would be just a really cool thing to experience and be able to do. As being the voice for a sports team is obviously like a big role, especially if it's like a local, or not local, an international, but you're doing like a local channel. Those types of things, you really have to like consider what you say and obviously be smart with your words, but I feel like I'm alright. Maybe not in private, but in public, I'm good. In public, I'm set. I got a good PR team. Okay, well, that's all the questions I had down. I think this is gonna be not every episode. I may open the forum for, obviously, more recent episodes. I say recent, but I guess it's more not common. More fresh questions for fresh episodes type of thing. Because obviously these questions were 2 years old, so I'd love to like get some more, new questions. And maybe, who knows, I'll get a couple guests on, we'll have a conversation, have an interview, I don't know, I think that type of stuff would be fun. I'd like to do more stuff like that, like some interviews here and there with some bigger names. If any of y'all looking to talk, hit me up. I'll think about it. If I want a reason to talk to you, I just want to talk to you for the sake of like, oh, here's your platform, buddy. Kind of just want to like be able to talk about certain issues with certain people, or certain just things in general. Like, I know Mr. Elite Chris 35 has a season coming out soon. Season 9 Hokage. I was on Season 8 The Nile. So, I know Lyoko likes to do these like Google Doc interviews, but who knows, maybe I'll do an in-person one. I'll do like the exit interviews that people love and get people's, thoughts on the way out. Obviously, I don't really know who's going to be out. I don't know who's going to get revealed. We've only at this point of recording have had 3 people, I think, revealed, and this is before Chris's poker tournament, so we don't know if we've seen the preview for it yet. I'm already pre-calling that there's going to be returnees, and so far these newbies all look like ass. So I'm really excited to see a returnee win in the FTC. I don't know who it's going to be. I think someone with like a decent social game. I think that's all they would really need. Other than that, I'm excited. If there's any other things, I'll make a video about it. You know how it is. We're back on the grind, baby. It's the talk show reboot, episode 1. Thanks everyone for watching. I will not always be in Roblox, by the way. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope that y'all keep coming back. Woo!